Evening all, and welcome back to episode 53 of Season 7 of Fracture Town, where I have re-enabled this little tiny build here, making our necklaces and crowns. I've rejigged it a bit, so it's got its bits going on again, and yeah, just so we've got enough things to upgrade some town centres, which is what I've done. Over here at the archery place, I have upgraded the town centre to level 10 and put in all the things it needs. 15 houses for this one to get the archery done, so that's got everything there. And over here at the farming one is the same. That's all done there. We do have loads of stuff stored in the farming one. I think that's just generally where everything goes. I would like to take it out, but I'm not really fussed about it, if I'm honest with you. I mean, it's just everything goes into the first town centre you have, so yeah, it's fine. Now, these are the two I want to kind of concentrate on to start with, the farming and the archery, and that's basically because pretty much everything from the farming town will go to the archery place and get processed there, and then from the archery it'll be sold. There are some exceptions to that. If I bring up a house one, yeah, farming. Now, it doesn't, unfortunately, tell me what the upgrades are. It just has pictures of them. Now, I know what they are. I can see from the pictures there, but some of them have double pictures, and it's like, what recipes is that? But you can see, I think the only things that actually sell raw from the farming town are going to be the fruits, the vegetables. So that's the grapes, the pears, and the apples, and the carrots, potatoes, and tomatoes for the vegetables. Yep. Yeah, they're the only ones that seem to sell rare. There is the dragon fruit in there, actually. I've just seen that, and the milk. So there's 1, 2, there's 4. Everything else gets shipped off somewhere else. And I kind of want to go and concentrate over on the archery place instead, because, well, what I basically want to work on is cake. That's the thing I want to do. I want to work on cake. We're getting a surplus of coins. We're making money. We have no problem with making money at all. But we are going to stop that, because these houses are all going to go off and do... we're all going to go live over here or wherever they're going to live. And then they've got to be... the goods got to be separated out to work. So I'm thinking, if we can get cake, which is the one here, the berry cake. Get the berry cake working first for purple coins. Then we'll work on stuff that does blue coins, which is nothing to do with the farming, unfortunately. Everything else is yellow coins. There's nothing that sells for blue. Everything in farming and gourmet is yellow coins, other than berry cake, which is purple coins. But I mean, we've got plenty of yellow coins, so we can afford to take a hit and they drop down for a while. Are they dropping? I haven't looked at that. No, it says plus. We're a bit stable for it, but I want to basically get the lowest one working first, and then the next one, and so on and so forth. So that way, but I think we'll probably just connect them. When we connect them together, we'll figure out how things work. But I'm going to start with berry cake. That's going to be the thing we're going to aim for. So we need to create in the farming town enough for berry cake. So let me just select a recipe on this one here for berry cake. See, this is all highlighted. Everything here is highlighted yellow, because everything it produces is going to get the kitchen. Basically, anything the kitchen produces gets a bonus. Every single thing, which is awesome. So we need berry cake. Berry cake requires a cake, which is going to be made here. So that requires flour, sugar, butter, and eggs. It requires jam, which is also made here. So that requires apple sugar. It requires sugar, which is more sugar, and it requires berries. Now, berries are going to be made elsewhere, and sugar's going to be made elsewhere, and apples are made elsewhere, and eggs and butter are made elsewhere. So yeah, and flour's made elsewhere as well. Flour's not even done here. Flour is done up here. So I need to look at the chain for this. Let me grab the grain mill. Let me grab a grain mill and put it on the road. It's important we put stuff on the roads, because then No, flour isn't made here. Where is flour made? Flour is made in the processing town. Ah, interesting. Okay, so flour has to go through processing. So we kind of need to integrate. That's into there. Integrate is not the right word. Integrate. That's into there. That throws a wrench in the works, doesn't it? Because that means we need to enable the processing town as well. Going to be here, which we kind of have already. I just haven't put the space out for it. Right. Okay. So is everything from the lumber mill? Yeah, the grain mill is boosted by that. So I have a feeling it comes down to kind of building. Like the lumber mill is boosted by the processing town. I'm surprised it doesn't just show you the buildings. But then I suppose there are some exceptions to this. Yeah, see, stone brick gets boosted, but polished stone does not. That's an arbitrary thing, which is interesting. I'm surprised it wasn't done. I'm surprised it's done with recipe and not just fire building. But then I suppose buildings are separated out. So okay, so that kind of puts us scupper into that because I need to put flour over there. But I think everything else that is going to be there. I'm going to go over it. I'm going to go over the entire production chain for berry cake, and figure out where everything needs to be made, what happens where, the artistry farm, and the farming. Okay, so they're easy enough done. There, the farm. Jam is made here at the artistry, which requires apple and sugar, and we know sugar and apple are done at the farm, and this requires requires flour, sugar, and butter. Okay. So what if I put down another one, and I want you to do butter? Yeah, butter's made here, and eggs are made elsewhere. So it's just the flour, Okay, okay, okay. So that's not too complicated. I think, perhaps, maybe, we'll see. I don't know. But I also need to figure out the train system, how we're going to connect all the trains up and everything like that. This is actually up like 2 blocks. Not fussed about that at all. Not fussed about that whatsoever. Trains can go up and down hills. Fine, they're going to go up and down hills in places anyway. So I'm just thinking. I'm just gonna connect it all to this loop here, and then we're gonna have the stuff go off and do things. We'll have it go off like along there, and then the train will go. Well, hey, this is where I get my raw material from, and that's what it does. It just goes and picks up raw material. So each train will be filtered with a thing. Like we'll have one train for moving. Well, let's start. Let's start, shall we? So we need the basic thing for a berry cake. We need the very first thing. It's going to be flour, which we're making loads of here, and it's a shame I'm going to remove this because this has got the grain yield all up to 100%. But well, that's the way it's going. I could put it up here and integrate that into it, but then I have to move the processing town over. Although we do have space over here, which I'm not even looking at, but that is all very steep hills, so we're going to be a bit lopsided. We're going to have more on the I don't know which way north is. We're going to have more on this side than we are anywhere else. You know, our processing town's sort of there. Our industry is going to be over here. We then have magic over here, and then we've got this over here, and then this side doesn't really have anything. This corner doesn't have anything at all, where the desert is. So, you know, that's just the way it is. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do this. So, if I do this here, right? I don't think there was any corn up here. There was any grain whatsoever. Grain is going to be something that's going to be used a lot, and you can kind of trick this as well, which is a bit strange. I hope. I can do this. I can put the mill, the as long as the building is inside and connected via a path. That's the awkward thing, is the path. It must have a path connected to it, which Yeah, we've got to do that to get it connected. But that is connected. And even though its crops are outside of it, it doesn't matter as long as the building's inside of it. Now, what I'm thinking, and I haven't tested this yet, so we're going to test some things. Put a food market down. Does that extend the range of buildings? Because I don't know. I don't know. This is not a good place to put it. Let's put that over there. I don't think this does. I don't think this does. Let's put that there. And no, you're getting no boost whatsoever. Whereas if I put you there, oh, is that the edge of the influence? Okay, so it's slightly outside the circle. That's interesting. Depending on how you build the roads, I suppose. So you can get a little bit more from it. See if I run a road right out to there. See, that actually influences just outside the circle. Which is good. Now I haven't run the numbers to what we need. I would need to do that. I would need to write down every recipe, and I would have to calculate all the inputs and outputs and everything for getting it all working. And the drawback to that is that then I need to figure out the inputs and outputs for consuming. For consuming stuff. I mean, ignoring the houses here, how they go. I'd have to look at a house and go, okay, so how much berry cake do you consume? So 1 every 50 seconds we need to produce, times 100. We're going to have 100 houses. So, and I'd have to go down the entire rabbit hole to find out how much grain is required for that, and then figure out how much grain is required for whatever else uses grain, and add that on, and then add this on, and then add that on, and then it becomes a lot. But that makes it this. Wow. If we want to go for that, and if we want to go for the happiness, the maximum happiness, that's how we're going to have to figure it out. We're going to make sure we're feeding them well. We can actually do it on the happiness duration, because so long as I get 1 every 150 seconds, the happiness is fine. The drawback to that is that sometimes somebody will not have any cake. There'll be 2 people that don't have it. So you'll have, say we had 2 houses. We'll go with these. So these 2, this one got a berry cake, and then 30 seconds later, this one got a berry cake. So this one will run out of berry cake 20 seconds after that, into 50 seconds. Then this one will run out after that. Then another group come along, and although this one, say it came along 100 seconds later, or 100 seconds after that, so they've fed this one, then they fed this one, comes 100 seconds later, this one has 20 seconds of happiness left, whereas this one has 50 seconds of happiness left. But it's possible that because neither of them have berry cakes, this one would get the cake first, and that one wouldn't. So the happiness would drop on this one, but not on that one. So you have to kind of do it at consumption rate. I hope I'm explaining that correctly, if that makes sense. The consumption is how often they can use the goods, and the happiness is how long it lasts before the happiness drops. So if they don't have the item in their inventory, they can gain a new one regardless of how long the happiness duration they've got. So somebody could have 10 seconds left on their happiness, and another one could have 100 seconds left on their happiness, and the 100-second one will get the goods first before the 10-second one, because it's just looking at whether they've got it in their inventory or not. So we need to base it on the consumption time. So I'm going to grab my notepad, I'm going to pause the recording, and I'm going to see how long this takes me to figure out. Because if we're going to do it, let's do it properly. Okay, we're back, and it's been a while. It's been well over a day because I've been trying to overcalculate stuff, I think. Basically, I started writing everything down, and then I went, this would be easier to do in a spreadsheet. So I started doing it in there, and I thought, well, I can get the spreadsheet to do all the work for me, and I can figure it out. So I've tried to build something where you essentially put the name of the item you want and how many you want per minute, and it does it all for you. It's nowhere near finished yet. It kind of worked for berry cake, but it doesn't work for anything else because I haven't got all the references in there. But if anyone's used the Factorio calculator for Factorio, think a very simple version of that, but for Factory Town. And I kind of want to do that. I really want to make a calculator for Factory Town and just go, what do you want? How many do you need? This is all the buildings you need. So, with that, hopefully my maths being correct as well, which is my track record isn't fantastic for that. What we need to produce berry cakes. So to make berry cakes, to feed 100 houses, you need to produce 120 per minute. That feeds them because it takes 50 seconds for them to consume them. So it's 120 seconds, 120 cakes per minute required to keep up with demand. To do that, you need 20 kitchens making berry cake. This is all based on just one kitchen with no bonuses. No bonuses, no fire boosters, no steam boosters, no nothing. Just one kitchen with one worker in it. It's all based off that. And then we can figure it out because you can divide it by whatever you need to for adding fire boosters. And also, we're going to get bonuses. I moved this out of here because it was throwing my numbers off. Put this back in here and it goes up to 2 now. So really, we only need 60. But let's just ignore all the boosters and ignore all the bonuses and just go for standard stuff. So we need 20 kitchens making berry cake, which means we need 20 kitchens making cake, which means we need 20 kitchens making jam. For the jam, we require 16 foresters producing apples. Now, obviously, foresters you can speed up by because they have one work unit. One person gives one work unit. So, if we put 8 people in a forester, we can have 2 of them. So, yeah. It also requires sugar, which requires 16 farms. But the apple jam also requires sugar, which requires 16 farms. And the apple jam still requires 32 farms for the sugar. And the cake itself requires another 16 farms. I'm getting myself confused here. So yeah, for the berry cake, 20 kitchens making berry cake, 20 kitchens making cake, 20 making apple jam, 10 farms making 16 farms making sugar, and 16 farms making berries. That's just for the berry cake. To make the cake requires 32 grain mills making flour, requires 16 farms making sugar, 10 kitchens making butter, and 12 making eggs. 12 pastures making eggs. To make the flour requires 12 farms making grain to produce enough to make the flour. To produce the butter requires 8 pastures making milk, and I haven't actually figured out. I'm missing some things. Good lord, I'm missing some things. So we also need animal feed in there. I haven't figured the animal feed out. Yeah, I'll have to add that in there. And eggs, fuel. Fuel because it requires multiple different things. I haven't actually calculated in here yet. But in order to make the apple jam requires 16 foresters and 32 farms making sugar. So an awful lot. But of course, a lot of them can be divided down because, well, everything can be divided by 2 because we're going to have bonuses on the town centres. Something else that I've noticed, which is very, very confusing, and I might have to bring this up on the Discord. The archery town requires a workshop, but the workshop has no recipes that gain bonus from the archery town. So I think that's a mistake. You get nothing. That you would never use that here because it doesn't gain any bonuses for stuff. I can see kind of why the cloth makes sense. I kind of thought cloth would be bonus in the archery town, but I think cloth is for processing, isn't it? Yeah, cloth is in processing, which is strange. I kind of feel like that should be over here, but then there's a lot over here anyway in archery. So yeah, it's just a bit weird that it requires a workshop and the workshop doesn't have anything. I mean, the tailor, everything gets bonus from it. The kitchen, everything gets bonus from it. But the workshop, nothing. Not a single one. So it's a bit strange. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So adding all those things up there, and seeing how we're going to do stuff. I need 64 farms making sugar. That's a lot of sugar. That's an awful lot of sugar. And this is just for berry cake. This doesn't include anything else we're going to be selling. So yeah, I mean, because obviously, what else are they that uses sugar? Well, the jams all require sugar. There's more sugar being added to it. We're not going to be selling cake. We'll probably only be selling one type of jam. Since we're making apple jam, we might do that, or we might just take something else. I don't know. Maybe pear jam. But I don't think anything else requires sugar, does it? I think so. Although that requires, there we go. Antidotes require sugar. So, yep. So there's even more farms for sugar. I was surprised to make 120 berry cakes a minute. You need 64 farms. Now, obviously, we can half that because we're gonna get the bonus here, the farm bonus. So we're down to 32 farms, and then you can put workers in the farms. So if I was to say, hey, you do sugar, boom, and it's producing 1, but we can up the workers to 10. So, you know, we can cut that right back to 3.2 farms. Not a problem. Not a problem. And if you add earth boosters and stuff, you could make it even less. You could probably get down to 3 farms, under 3 farms. So it's not amazing. It's not terrible, but it's a lot of sugar we're going to be moving around. That's a lot of sugar, and this doesn't include transport times at all. It doesn't include them whatsoever. It doesn't figure out the belt times or train times or anything like that at all. So yeah, yeah, and I don't know how you even calculate chute times. I mean, belts are easy. Belts have a set time. Copper conveyor belts, metal conveyor belts, and magic conveyor belts have a set speed. Chutes are weird because if you have a run going 3 squares, then a metal conveyor belt might be faster. But if you have it going 5 squares, then the chute will be longer. But if you have a corner in them 5 squares, then it won't be longer. It won't be shorter because it's got to turn a corner, and they can't go uphill. But so, I mean, chutes. I don't know how you calculate the speed on chutes. It's very weird, very weird. But yeah. So we're gonna need, with the bonuses, with these bonuses here, not including any earth boosters or omni boosters, which increase the work unit by 0.5, we're going to need 3.5 farms, 3.2 farms for just sugar, and we need sugar for loads of other things as well. So yeah, we're going to need a lot of sugar farms. Let's try it. Let's try and get it going. So I want no antidotes needed. I know jam's gonna also need it. I kind of what I really wish I could do was just figure it all out on paper before I start building stuff. But then you won't get an episode for a week because I need to get my head down and do that sort of thing, and it's difficult to find the time for it. But hopefully, if I can figure out actually how to get this Excel sheet to just type in whatever you want and it throws off the numbers for you, that'll make life easier completely across the board. I won't have to keep figuring stuff out and doing other bits and pieces. I can just go, hey, what do I need for this? And it will go, you need this. Yay! And there will be much rejoicing. Okay. So if we're going to need more farms, and I need them to be connected via a path, that's the awkward thing, which means we're definitely going to lose a little bit, but it should be okay. It should be okay. What I might do is I might try and put 5 farms in. But I don't know whether these... No, they won't get a bonus, so we need to come closer. That makes sense. That does make sense. So we need to be... I want 5. I've got to come to like here. Let's move you out of the way. Don't need you anymore. All these. Yada yada. Bump and bump. And then what we do is we go down, we get to that one. We're at where the edge is. Here. Right, do all you get the bonuses? Yes, you are connected to Farmington. Awesome. So you want to be grain? No, sugar. The supply water and supply fertilizer. We could kind of do that if we need to. I don't think you need to because of the way bonuses work. So this is all going to be sugar, which means we need to cut into the edge of the world here. Like that. There we go. Okay, and then we just put down sugar. Sugar. Boom. None of them have any bonuses because... well, because they don't. These ones on the outside are going to get a bit of a bonus because they're going to be connected to the water. I'm fine with that. That's okay. It's not a problem. Oh, I'm very close to my mic. Sorry about that. I'm shouting at you all. That's because I'm leaning over because I have stuff in front of me writing on. Yeah. Oh. Oh. So okay, so we need 3.2 plus stuff for other things, and these will need to have 10 people in each. Okay, up it to 10 people each. We could add earth boosters to them as well. That is a thing that we can do if we need to. I don't think we will. I think 5 is probably going to tide us over, if I'm correct. But what I might do is I might have like this whole side. Well, not the whole side farms, because I mean, grain is something we're going to need a lot of as well. We're going to need berries as well. A forester for apples. So, I think yeah, we might just do like a plot of farms, and then from there do whatever else we need to do. And hopefully that'll be fine. But it's a lot. It's an awful lot, and we need to get them out of there as well. We need to get them out of there. So we need and one chute will not be enough for 10. It never is. It's never enough. So what if we do 2? Like this. So, yoink and yoink. And we're going to build a barn over here at each one, which means we're going to have to change the road, which is fine. There we go. Okay, and then can I just copy that? Will you let me do that? Occupied. Ah, because the road. Really? Really? Yeah. Okay. Let's go with the select blocks. Is that? Nope, they're sitting inside the crops. Don't want that. Oh, do you know what? Let's just remove the road. It's gonna be easier. We'll just remove the road, and then we can copy this and paste it in there, and there, and there, and there. There we go. Okay, so there's our farms. Wow. Okay. Well, there's the farms for sugar. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, there's the farms for sugar. Okie dokie. So, and that does give us excess sugar as well, because three and a little bit can deal with it. So we got 5, so we got some excess sugar. What about grain? Now, grain is something that's used everywhere, like everywhere. It's used in bread. It's used most importantly, it's used in flour and animal feed, which are processing things. So we have to ship it out to the processing before we can ship it back here again to feed to the pastures, because that makes sense. I don't know quite. Yeah, you got to ship it to processing and then ship it back in. So I feel like we're going to need way more than just 5 farms. Should have left gaps in between them so I can run roads down. And I need to get all this out as well to a train station. The train station is going to be over here somewhere probably. So we need to ship them all out, but that's doable. I mean, you could have airships move them if you wanted to. We could replace these barns with air. That's really tempting. That's really tempting. Replace them with airship docks and have the airships move backwards and forwards. Then airships use 4 people a go, and we're gonna start hitting our work cap quite quickly when we get to the people, because obviously we're gonna have 10 people in each farm. Each farm's gonna have 10 people. Plus, as well, something I need to remember: we have omnipipes open, so perhaps I could use them instead of this overhead and stuff, and then we could ship the stuff directly from the farms to the station. We don't need to store it. We don't need to store it. It would be nice to have a buffer, like a barn buffer, but do we need a buffer for each one? Couldn't we just have a single buffer on the end and have them all feed into one buffer, and then from the buffer out to wherever it's going? Omnipipes. Don't know if that's such a good idea or not. And I don't have the omnipipes being made, so maybe we'll have to make some omnipipes and figure it out from there. But yeah, so that's the farms we need, and I'm already thinking that's a bad layout. I probably need to have gaps in between them, so that I can have roads go down, because you need to connect everything by roads in order to get access here. Now, if I put a row in front, I can't do it because it's messed up. So I might move that around, but I think I'll try and figure out the layout off camera, and we'll take it from there. Yeah. Okay, so thank you all very much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed this one. It's been a bit of a weird one, especially for me. It's been a bit of a weird one for me. I've been figuring stuff out for a long time, and now hopefully I can get this video done and up before midday, because it's 10:30. So but yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this one. I hope you see you again in the next one, and until then, as always, have fun.